Hi everybody, it's Mariana with Three Peaks Classroom. Happy New Year! If you are watching this episode in real time, then this is my first episode of 2025, kicking off my 5th season of YouTube. If you are new here, hello and welcome. My name is Mariana and I'm a teacher here in Alberta, Canada, and I love to make helpful YouTube videos for other teachers just like you. In today's video, I want to share with you an activity that I do with my own students when we come back from break, all about goal setting and reviewing our goals for the new year. Now, depending on where you teach, goal setting and reviewing personal goals, that might already be part of your curriculum that you are mandated to teach, in which case this activity will align perfectly with your curricular standards. But in case you teach in a place that that's not required, I want to give you a few reasons why you should be teaching goal setting and reviewing goals with your students. So research shows that kids that set and review their own personal goals, they're more focused, they're more motivated, and they're more self-aware. Goal setting in the classroom allows them to develop a growth mindset, which is absolutely what we want our students to have. We want them to plan a goal and review it and develop that growth habit. It also helps them to plan and organize themselves. And then, of course, it helps them to celebrate their own personal successes. All right, so enough about the reasons on why we should be teaching goal setting in the classroom. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. How do I teach it in my classroom when we come back from break? So the first Monday when we come back from break, we get through all of the normal routines and stuff. And then I sit down with my students and we talk about the new year and I talk about some goals that I have. I don't talk about resolutions, but I focus more on habits and goals. Like, what are some things that I want to do more of this year and what are some things I want to do less of? And so I'll sit down with my students and I'll say, I would like to make sure that I'm drinking more water every day. And I had a lot of soda over the holiday break. So I want to make sure that I'm drinking a little bit less soda. I do like to drink soda. So, maybe I will allow myself to have those treats on special occasions, but definitely I want to drink more water. I do want to read more books this year. I had a whole stack of books on my nightside table that I didn't really get to because I started playing video games on my cell phone. So one goal that I have is to, read some more books. And I'm going to do that by starting off slowly. I'm going to try and aim to read like a couple pages a night. And then once I build in the habit, then maybe I'll be able to read longer and longer. But for the beginning, I'm just going to start slow and read a couple pages. And of course, I want to be active. So I do plan on taking my dog, Teddy, for daily walks outside. It'll be great for him and it'll be great for me too. So those are my goals. Drink more water, drink less soda, read some more books, and try and take a walk every day with my dog. After I'm done sharing about my own personal goals, I will invite my students to share orally with me what they might want to do more of. And of course, answers will vary and some of them might be a little bit superficial. Some of them might not be serious at all, and that's okay. We're developing through this conversation. Some students might joke around and say like, I want to play more video games. And okay, that's valid. I would love to play more video games too, but let's talk about what happens if we do play a lot of video games. Like, what are the positives and what are the negatives about that? It's not a bad choice, but if you're choosing to play video games, then you are choosing to not do something else. So it's a really good discussion opportunity if students come up with answers like that. So then after our discussion, I will hand out this paper to my students. Now I have 2 versions of this and I will talk about how you can get this paper at the end of the video. So if you want to have these materials, just stick around to the end. So I have 2 versions. I have one that has cursive writing at the top and then I have one that just has print. So depending on what grade you teach, one might be more applicable. So this page is Happy New Year. And as you can see, we have the year 2025, but underneath very closely, if you zoom in, it talks about what you should write inside each number. So for example, in the first 2 of 2025, write down 2 goals that you have for school. Now space is limited here, which is why I've developed these written pages. So I have the blank page, I have interlined pages, and then I have just plain lined pages. So if you want, you can get your students to look at this, but then they write on this activity page. So for the first 2, students have to write 2 goals that they have for school. Now, that's something that you can have a discussion about. What would you like to work towards when you are at school? And that could be a myriad of things. That could be academic. Maybe you are working towards your home reading program. Maybe you want to make sure you get your home readings signed every day. Maybe you want to make sure that your homework is done every day. Or it could be something social, like, maybe I want to say hello to somebody at school every day, or, get to know some of the teachers in the school, whatever. There are 2 goals that students are going to try to aim for school. Then there's a big 0 here, of course, and the 0 is write down something you want to do less of. And so for me, in my example, I want to try and drink less soda in the year. I'm not cutting it out completely because I enjoy it a lot. And I think that if I just cut it out completely, I'll have a hard time with that. So I'm just going to try and drink less. I want to enjoy it at parties, and that way I still get to have some, but it's not every day. And then the second 2 in my 2025 is I want to write down 2 things that I want to do more of at home. So the first one is school. The second one is at home. So maybe I want to work on making my bed every single day. That is something that I struggle with. I do it most of the time, but not all the time. So I want to make sure I make my bed every day. And something for me personally is I want to try and make sure that the kitchen is clean by the end of the day. Too often I'm too tired and I just want to, leave it. So for me, that's my goal. Of course, it'll be different for students. And then the 5 here, write down 5 words that you want to remember or live by this year. So maybe one of my words every year is always adventure. I always try and make sure that we plan some sort of an adventure in the year. And maybe it'll be more like healthy. I want to live my life this year a little bit more healthy. So more walking, more drinking water, things like that. So you're going to be talking with your students about 5 words that they want to live this year by. All right, so this is their 2025 page, goal planning page, goal setting page. I've listed all of the goals that they are going to try and achieve. So we've got 2 school goals, 1 less goal, 2 home goals, and then 5 words that they want to live by. So not necessarily a goal, but 5 words they want to live by. And maybe you've invited them to write it on this piece of paper, or maybe they write on a loose leaf piece of paper, doesn't matter. So they have this. In my package, I've also included 2 coloring pages. So this might just be something that's waiting on their desk when they come in. And this one's a little bit more fun. It's got the little dot dudes there. So there's some coloring pages that they can work on. But here is the piece de resistance. This is the piece that we are going to be looking at for the entire month of January. So not only are they setting goals, but they are going to be tracking how they do with their goals. So here on the side, I've written some instructions. There are exactly 31 days here. So of course, we're coming back from break on the 6th. So we've missed 6 days already. That's okay. But I have included this because, you might choose to use this at home with your family as well. Either way, I want to make sure I've covered all my bases. And at the end of each day, students are going to review how they did with their goals. So these goals, how well did you do? Now you might choose to do this at home, like you might send this home, or what I would do in my classroom is every morning we would have a discussion and talk about how did our day go yesterday. So when you got home, did you do your home reading like you had wanted? Did you make your bed like you wanted, etc. And then depending on how they think they did, they'll review their goal and they will color in their day depending on that. So, if they did really well with all of their goals, maybe they hit 4 out of 5 of their goals, they could color the square green. And then it says here, if you feel like you did so-so, then you can color the square or the space yellow. And then if you feel like maybe you could have done better yesterday, then color the space blue. I try to stay away from red because that's very jarring, right? So color the space blue. And then at the end of the month, you review and see how you did. And did you have mostly green, mostly yellow, mostly blue? And that tells you, a lot of insight into how you plan and reflect and how you want to achieve your goals. The reason why I've included this goal tracking page is because oftentimes when I would teach in my classroom about goal setting, we would have a fitness goal about I want to do this, or I want to be able to do 10 push-ups, and the kids write down their goals, and then we might think about it for like a week, and then that's it. And I don't want that to happen. I want to set goals, intentional goals, that are measurable as well. And then I want to refer to them every day, because if I had a really bad day yesterday, that's not going to affect my day today. I don't want it to affect my day today. So reflecting on how I did the day before will allow me to plan and prepare for the future days. And so I would build this into my morning routine. I would ask students in the morning, once they've signed their agendas or I've signed their home reading, things like that, pull out your goal tracker and let me know how you did the day before. And if you're noticing a lot of greens, awesome. Talk to the student about, what's going really well. If you're noticing a lot of yellows, then again, talk to the student and say, well, okay, you did so. So what are some things that you could do to improve? And then of course, if you're noticing a lot of blue, then maybe it's time to revisit the goals. Did you set a goal that's a little too tricky for you? And that's okay. It's okay to change your goal because you want something that's achievable, right? So then I would sit down with the student and I would say, okay, I'm noticing a lot of blue, and maybe it's because it's really hard for you to, I don't know, do your home reading every single night because you have hockey and you have dance lessons or whatever. So can we set a smaller goal? Can you try and do 5 minutes of home reading every day? Or can you try and do your home reading as soon as you get home from school? That way you know it's done and out of the way. That's a good opportunity to discuss and reflect with your students. All right, now you're probably wondering, Mariana, how do I get these freebies? For my own classroom, the 2025 freebies, you have the goal setting pages with the 3 different rating sheets, you have the 2 coloring pages, and of course you have the goal tracker. You can grab all of those materials on my website if you go to freebies.threepeaksclassroom.com, and there you'll enter your email address and you're going to join my email list. This freebie was emailed already to all of my email subscribers on the 1st of January so that they could get it ready for their classrooms whenever they return. If you are not on my email list but you want to be, this is where you go to sign up. And then once you have confirmed your email address, then you will have access to my freebies library, and there you'll be able to see this document that you'll be able to download for your own personal classrooms. And while you're in the moment and joining my email list, why don't you join my YouTube family as well? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that you do not miss any more episodes in the 5th season of YouTube for Three Peaks Classroom. And don't forget to hit that like button so that this video can be sent to other teachers as well, in case other teachers would like to have my goal setting pages and my New Year's tracker. All of those pages, they can have those as well. Thank you so much for being here, everybody. I hope you're having a wonderful start to the new year, and best of luck as you enter back into the classrooms with your students. I will catch you guys in the next episode. Bye.